Just waiting for more people to click on the link and we can start maybe in 2 minutes. Is that all right? Yeah, we had some problem using the VPN just now, but we figured the problem. So everyone can see me now, right? Hi, Eric. Hi, everyone. Thomas, Ronick. Hi, Johnny. David. Hi, more people are coming. Hi, everyone. Let's wait for 1 more minute and we can wait for more people to come in the channel. I just saw some people raise the question. I see some people compare Fusion with Wanchen, and how do we compare it to them? Those kind of questions. I think there are already some answers. Hi, Andrew, Yona. Hi, hello everyone. Okay. All right. So we have more than 20 people here. Anyone want to join us? Hi, Chuk. Justin, hello. Oh, Justin, you asked a really good question. How Fusion will create a riskless lending? What prevents people from not repaying? That's a very good question. But I will not talk about this today because there is a video coming on the way. You will see it maybe in 2 days. That will explain how we can create a riskless loan on Fusion. Very clear. Okay, let's start. First of all, I would like to thank for the community support for the voluntary participants program. The Fusion Foundation has received, let's see, 48,826 Ethereum in the early bird stage. In order to be more distributed, the token sale smart contract will be still running until February the 11th at 12 GMT. And the 20,480,000 FSN token will be distributed to the voluntary participants proportionally. As more participants join the voluntary participants program, the community will be stronger, I believe, which is really beneficial to Fusion program. The Fusion token is extremely important for the realization of the vision of the Fusion project. The Fusion Foundation has designed the FSN distribution structure to make the project sustainable. The distribution of tokens must be well balanced to achieve the decentralized concept. There needs to be an elegant balance among the Fusion Foundation, the investment community, the technology community, and the bookkeeping community as well. But as you know, the blockchain industry is in its very early stage of development. There are some disharmonies. The Fusion's official website, fusion.org, has been under DDoS attack at the very beginning of our token sale. Someone in the Telegram are conducting fraud under my name, DG Chen. We also found someone has created a website at fusion-ico.org with the same contents as our official website under this very similar domain name. I saw a guy registered an account yesterday on Medium with several followers. Very few followers actually has published an article that says Fusion is a scam, with materials that have been brought up in the channel, in the Telegram channel in the last couple of days, and have been already clarified for a lot of times. Obviously, this irresponsible account on Medium is manipulation. and attack the foundation with ill intention, I think. I also heard a lot of feedback in Telegram channel regarding KYC. A lot of people mention why KYC, is there a KYC before the token sale? As we all know, there are different levels of KYC depending on different laws in different countries. When we apply for visa, we may need to provide information of your family, wealth, and income, or even your fingerprints. When you check in a hotel, you only need your certificate of identification, like ID, driver license. But in the world of blockchain, especially the public chain, I hope that more people can all join the ecosystem and enjoy the blockchain services. However, among more than 200 countries and areas, there are laws under which the foundation has no right to require your personal information. I heard a lot of people ask questions in the Telegram channel about our KYC, why there are no registration on the website, why there are no places to give a passport number, and so on. But I would like to say, have you ever questioned those foundations that do they have the rights to ask for your personal information? As you know, in a lot of places, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Under the guidance, we set Fusion Foundation in Singapore. According to the law in Singapore, and under the advice of our lawyer, the foundation uses a certain level of KYC process. We use the community partners program for participants to register their information and their Ethereum address. And in the voluntary participants program, participants will see the terms and they can not proceed to next step until they confirm and accept the terms. In fact, we also blocked IPs for some countries, which banned the ICO. We have followed local laws and do our due diligence. I encourage the Fusion community to do the same. Addition to the tax to the foundation, I found some Medium poster from VeChain, which makes a lot of people keep asking questions. Do I have any relationships with VeChain or Quantum? First of all, I would like to say I really feel disappointed that VeChain made such an implied, even rude statement. As you know, as a foundation, the most important thing is to be honest and inclusive. You can find that the fact is very clear by using search engines. You can easily find the relations between BitC and VeChain, Quantum. That's the truth. No one can deny that. If anyone wants the truth, I can give you the truth. I can give you a lot of proof. So I think those people are ill-intentioned. But we need to focus on something more important. We need to take care of the milestones. And from the very beginning, the most important thing before the token sale was the safety of the smart contracts. The token sale mechanism is really creative, as you can see. We predicted that our mechanism can be imitated by a lot of projects in the future. But as the first one, we who use such kind of mechanism needs to take the risk and bear the pressure. We have used the days and the nights to test the token sale smart contract and employ the 3 famous code auditing institutions to review the code. Another aspect I'm focusing on is that when the mainnet can be launched. I think a lot of people in the Telegram channel, you are also very interested in this topic. Our project is very innovative in the underlying technologies, I believe, such as the generation of the private key and the consensus mechanism, the smart contract. The workload of developing the code is really very huge, So we need to focus on something. We need to. Some people they question. They want to question, is that a scam or fraud or something? You can check on the search engine. That's nothing to debate. I would like also let you know that we have created codes for the main models that we can use to assemble, such as distributed key generation. That's a kind of very special function, distributed key control. locking, lockout technology, multiple triggering mechanism for smart contracts, external information input interface, hierarchic, hybrid consensus. We will put codes on GitHub when we are ready. And at that time, we probably will need your support to review and give us the feedback and improve the quality of the codes. That's really important, and we need your support. We also will organize the technical communication activities to achieve this objective as well. So thank you for the participants of the community partner program. We are really proud that you join us, and you are precious for the realization of the vision of Fusion project. We will contact anyone who apply for the community partner program to join the community, to join the activities and the community of Fusion. As you know, we really need more people to be a part of this community. And we also welcome more token buyer, purchaser, and we welcome, definitely we need to thank a lot of early bird participants. Thank you for your support in the very early stage of the projects. Your participation in token sale are really very important for the project to launch our mainnet as soon as possible. As you all know, Fusion is a public blockchain. We want to devote ourselves to create an inclusive crypto finance platform by providing cross-chain, cross-organization, and a cross-data source smart contracts. So in the era of internet values, the importance of individuals is arising, I think. And the communities will be in the center of the stage. We embrace the community. That's what we want. So thank you again. Thank you again for the participants. We really achieved a very successful early bird result, and we look forward to a very good result. You can post in I think you'd better post in the channel. I mean, you'd better post in the YouTube channel, I think. Yes. Let's see. Anyone want to ask the questions? Hold on a minute. Okay, the first question, Rory, why only 25% of tokens for sale to public? This is on the very low side. Please elaborate why you didn't choose to give more tokens to the public. Okay, I would like to explain this. As you all know, the only part for the team is only 10% of the tokens. So the rest of the token will be returned to the community. But for the voluntary participation program, it is 25. We have 30%, which will distribute it for the consensus, just like all other blockchain using the POW and the POS. So those 30% will be distributed like that way. As you all know, a blockchain needs the ledger booking capability, and another capability is computation capability. It's not only about money. We need people to contribute to this blockchain for computation and the ledger booking. So we will distribute more than 30% to those people who want to contribute their computation power and the ledger booking power. And we have another 10% for the community. That's we name it a community, but actually we will use this 10% to include more decentralized organizations like the token foundations and some centralized organizations to have them to put their tokens on Fusion. As you can see, more token value running on Fusion, and the more value Fusion will be. So we will have another 10% for community, and another 10% for the selected supporters. Some people, they really have very good connections in the financial industry. So we will include those well-connected people in Wall Street, in Europe, and in some other financial centers who can bring us this connection to ask others, even centralized organizations, to put their valued tokens, even some fiat digital currencies on Fusion as well. So we need 10% to have this collaboration. And we also have another 10% for the angel investors. So this is the total token distribution. That's not like other people say 25% is really small amount. But as you can see, we have 30% running for consensus. That's a very huge part. And we need that part to play a very important role in our community as well. Okay, so the next question, let's pick. Why you don't announce sooner? KYC is really unreasonable. First, you only exclude China and US from VPS, but in VPS day, you include many other countries in your ban list. No, anyone from the countries we ban, you cannot join our VPS. That's still the rule. And I addressed the KYC problem before. I think you can play the record again and see what's my response. Anyone want to ask the questions? Okay, someone asked, can you please explain further from the white paper distributed nodes to do distributed parallel computing? Okay, first of all, I would like to explain a little bit how the finance world is operating today. As you can see, all kinds of financial instruments and all kinds of financial products, they all rely on one thing. That's centralized custody service. For the stocks, you have your stocks registration and booking in a centralized organization. You will have your money ledger booking in a centralized organization. You will have your assets like real estate registered in the centralized organization so that you can have financial instruments. But in the world of blockchain, we want to do it distributedly instead of centralized. That's the spirit of blockchain. Once we can handle the problem, have the asset controlled and controlled distributedly, and each of the nodes cannot read the data from others. And according to the mathematics, no one can have the right to control have the full right to control one piece of assets. Then that is the distributed node, do the distributed parallel computing. Why we needed the parallel computing? Based on our philosophy, there will be a lot of token running on top of Fusion. That will create a lot of small contract computation, a lot of throughput on this platform. That's why we need a lot of computation power. And there are some people they claim that the Ethereum has no way to do the things parallel. Every node needs to run a smart contract and get consensus. That's a problem of Ethereum. But what we want to do is when a lot of different tokens running on our platform, we need to make it smooth. So we need the parallel computing. Okay, what's the next question? Why is token sale is going on? Because the hard cap is reached. If there are much more people that contributes, less token for early investors, and the price of one token will be higher. I need to explain that. Maybe you can read more on the website how this mechanism is designed. We want the token to be more distributed. That's the spirit of blockchain, as I mentioned. The more people be a part of the being a part of the community, I think we can get more resources in the future. We don't want that the token can be held by very single wealthy people. They in a lot of previous projects, they close the deal in 20 seconds, in 30 minutes. In that case, a lot of people they just are sending a huge amount of Ethereum and close the deal in a very short period of time. But I don't think that's a good way, because in that way, the tokens can only be being uh, held by a very limited people. So I want more people to join. I heard some people before he told me that there is a philosophy for him to invest. Once, if he cannot join at the very beginning, he will never touch this coin. So maybe it's not a good example, but actually, I hope more people can can hold our token, and the community will be much bigger than other projects. So that's the philosophy for the mechanism we done. And another philosophy is we want to make it fair. A lot of people they in the previous projects they created the gas wall. The earlier, if I send the Ethereum earlier than you, then I got the chance to sit in the bench. But for our mechanism, I hope we can give you a certain period of time. You can make your decision based on your judgment. If you think it's not a project you are interested, you just wait, and or even you don't buy the token. That's your freedom. But anyone who do their research and they can understand what we are doing, then they have their chance to invest. That's another philosophy we create for this mechanism. Okay, we use for this mechanism. Let's do the next question. What's the next question? Why did VeChain come out? They have nothing to do with DJ and Fusion, even though both projects were launched by BC, of which DJ is CEO. I don't know. You need to ask them. That's the fact. That's the fact. You can search online. So I don't know. Maybe I think someone, maybe he has an ill intention. I don't know. That's really the fact. Back to more than 2 years ago. Okay, what's the next question? How is the different? How is our project different from iCoin and Wenchen? Oh, there is a comparison document. I think maybe someone from our admin group, you can post the comparison in the group. Okay. Any questions? DJ, can you address the current state of the market? Oh, I really can't, because um, today I'm the visionary and the principal for Fusion. I cannot speak for any other exchange or any other market. I'm sorry, but maybe in the future, when we have some meetup offline, we can have some chat about this topic. DJ, could you give a scenario example of the financing possibility of fusion? That's a great question. Let me think. Okay, I can give you one question. That's really disruptive. That's really disruptive. And I think that will be popular in the future. Today in the finance world, all we can see before 200 years ago, there were barely we can barely find any financial instruments. The currency that time only takes care of the function of ledger booking, such as I give you the currency, you give me some goods. That's the ledger booking function, right? But in the recent 200 years, there are much more function emerged in the financial market, like the banknote. For example, if you give me some goods, but I don't have money, I can give you a banknote that makes sure you can get a bunch of money in your account maybe in the next 60 days, right? In the next 60 days. That's the banknote. That's the function of banknote. This is one of the very major financial function in today's financial environment. And but in today's cryptocurrency and the blockchain, you can never see this kind of function, right? Why? I think there is no fusion today. So after we build the fusion, you can see a lot of these kind of functions. You can see small contracts that reflects a certain amount of token will be sending to a certain address in the next 60 days. And given the situation that this smart contract reflects a certain cash flow, if I'm the owner of this smart contract, I can use this as the banknote today, but with no risk. Because even for the banknote, the risk depends on the banks, right? But for the smart contract, they are the same. They are totally the same. Because the algorithm and the mathematics guarantees a certain amount of token will be arriving in a certain address. So that's the nature of smart contract and the blockchain. In this case, you can see we can build a lot of different smart contract under such kind of different conditions among all of the cryptocurrencies. We can define a smart contract among maybe more than 3 different parties, which describes account A will transfer a certain amount of token to account B based on the condition that another token representing maybe Louis Vuitton bags going to account C. Under the condition that the weather is good. So you can organize a lot of different scenario to put in one smart contract, but it will execute with no doubt, not like today, with no doubt. So that is a risk-free financial market, right? And we can even imagine that if a smart contract reflects a certain amount of cash flow in tokens, we can create a lot of different instruments, financial instruments based on fusion. Let's take our mechanism. Let's take our voluntary participants program as an example. As you know, we don't stop when we reach the hard cap, and people will see that based on this mechanism, if we reach maybe 5 times than our 5 times higher than our hard cap on the 5th day, like maybe on the 5th day of November. It's February the 6th, and you know, based on the situation that we got 5 times more than 5 times more than our hard cap. In this case, every 100 Ethereum you send to our smart contract, more than 4/5 of your 100 token will be returned. That's a guaranteed thing, right? So you can use this mechanism to borrow from other people like that. We can borrow from other people, like we can borrow 400 Ethereum. Like if you give me 400 Ethereum and putting my account, and I invest totally 500 Ethereum, that makes sure my 100 Ethereum will get in, and the rest of 400 Ethereum will be returned to the lender with no doubt, right? This is risk free, and it can even be written in a smart contract, right? And this is kind of risk free loan. And in the future, people you can open Explorer, like looking different types of smart contract, risk-free loan, and you just put your token in different smart contract, and you don't need to worry about if they can return the token or not, because it is controlled by the smart contract. It makes sure you can get the token for sure. So that's a lot of different scenarios. Very different scenarios you can use in this mechanism. I'm pretty sure it will be imitated in the future. You know, when BitC incubated Quantum, we created a very innovative way to do the ICO. We put a very interesting pre-sale, right? Before that, no one used the pre-sale round. But Quantum used the pre-sale round, and we actually I contact a lot of people. They joined the pre-sale round, which gives the foundation a lot of support, and they can bring a lot of connections in not only in the blockchain industry but also in the traditional industry. That's a kind of bridge, and in VeChain, although the mechanism in VeChain was blamed for, it was sold in 20 seconds, and only a few people get the real, can have the chance to join the token sale, public run token sale. But I still think VeChain is really good in getting the institutional support. Before that, I barely see other other projects that use the institutional support. But in VeChain, I think it's the first time we use the institutional support. But for this time, Fusion, the whole team designed a very creative mechanism. You can see when the top line, when the Ethereum sending the smart contract is twice than what we need, what we want to raise. People, you can use the smart contract to do the leverage, right? To do the leverage without any risk. If I'm the lender, I would like to lend the Ethereum to you because I can get an interest for free, right? For free risk. So that's the mechanism we designed. Okay, I would like to take one more question. One more question. So let's pick anyone who want to ask. Oh, a lot of people. Can you slow down a little bit, because a lot of questions come up. Let me pick one. Uh, are we still on? Are we still on time for mainnet launch on Q2? When we'll start to see the testnet? Okay. uh, from our current schedule, we still keep the timeline to release to release the code of mainnet in the mid of 2018. I hope we can make it in the second quarter. I'm pretty sure that the components of our code has been written in a good manner, but we still need to hire more coder to review and develop and assemble all the components together for the mainnet. Yes. Okay. That's a simple question. So I would like to pick one more. Why POW and the POS? Why not just one? What are some benefits? Okay, I would like to answer this question. This is a very good question. For POW, as you all know, POW is proof of work. Like Bitcoin, it uses the function of POW. But a lot of people, they blame that the blockchain like Bitcoin, they really cost a lot of energy, and the people, they needs to buy a lot of mining machines, and cost a lot of energy, the electricity, and some mining farm is not very clean. A lot of this kind of debate. So POW has its advantage because it's really fair, but it also caused a lot of problem. So that's why a lot of people in this industry want to change the mechanism, change the consensus to POS, like proof of stake, DPoS, those kind of consensus. But DPoS also, there is also a debate in POS and the DPoS because you need to hold token. The more token you hold, you will be richer than other people. So that's another debate in POS. The reason we use two POS plus POW, the reason is that in our consensus, we require two different capabilities. One is computation capability. We need a lot of we need a lot of supporters from the community to provide their computation power to make sure all the smart contract among all the tokens can be running on time. There will be no conjunctions. There will be no traffic because we can do it in parallel. So this is the first capability we need from the community. And the second one is ledger booking, just as other tokens and other blockchains. We need the ledger booking function. So in our consensus, we divided into two layers. The first layer is running by POW. It is running by POS, the first layer for the computation. Because if we need the computation, they also need to contribute the proof of work, right? So we need the POW to support the computation layer. And then after the computation, we got a result, and another layer on top of it needs to get a consensus based on the POS. That creates a lot of benefits because if you only have token, actually you don't have the chance to get a reward based on the consensus because you still need to do the POW, right? You still need to do the POW, and if you only manufacture the mining machine, you still are out of this community. You still need to hold the token. So that's the way we want to create a consensus to be running smoothly and really bring benefits to our consensus. Okay, I think our session for this AMA is 45 minutes. I still have 1 minute, 1 more minute. Maybe I can answer one more question. Um, how much fusion token need to stake and what is rewarded? Oh, that's the mechanism. I think we can answer this question based on the testnet. Okay. Any other question? Okay. I would like to stop now. We only have 1 more minute. But the last but not the least, I really want to thank you again for participating in the early bird and participating in our voluntary participants program. And I also really want to thank you for joining me for this AMA session this time. I can guarantee you I will keep talking to you and listen to your voice in the Telegram channel as well. And I hope we can build one of the greatest project in the world, greatest blockchain project in the world, and try to make something real happen in the finance world. And the next time, I would like to explain more how fusion can help with the finance world. Okay, thank you, folks. Thank you. Bye bye. Uh, see you next time. Okay, bye bye.